Hello, everyone. I really need to start putting canvas art wire on the back of my paintings. I mostly just kind of hang them by the frame and hope for the best, and it's not so great. Um, I did order this little kit from I don't even know where, and it just has some wire and some D rings and screws in them. So I will place those on there and then do the wire. It will be a lot more professional and just easier to hang overall too, and more secure. Most importantly, I've never had one fall off the wall, but it's certainly not good for it. Especially this one here. I was just kind of hanging it, and because there's no wire on it, it kind of like damaged the canvas a little bit, as you can see. Thankfully, it's just the back and it doesn't really matter, but that's kind of the main reasoning. And I made a couple gifts for my family, so I want to have them able to hang it up pretty easily. I can't find my actual screwdriver. I have no idea where it is. So I'm going to be using this little tiny guy that came in a kit and see how that goes, I guess. I've never done this before, but I feel like it's not that difficult as long as I place it evenly and towards the top of the painting. This is not a tutorial. If you want an official one, there's plenty on YouTube, I'm sure. So I'm just kind of winging it, and we'll see. It is about time. So, first, I think we're going to start doing this. Actually, let's practice on the pastel colored one first, since that's not a gift for anybody. That's just one that I made. And therefore, if the frame cracks or anything, then it will be fine because it was just for me anyway. But since the other two are gifts, I want to make sure that they are going to be done well. Let's start with that one. All right, I was too lazy to go find my tape measure, so I'm using this square guy. And it's said to put it in like the top third or so. Um, this is, let's see, 12, about 16. So I'm gonna just put it 4 inches because I think that would be the best option. Also, this canvas kind of hangs over quite a bit. I don't know if it'd be the best option to screw through it or just screw through the frame. We'll see how difficult it is to actually screw through it. But make a mark at 4. Actually, it's like, and then 4 inches. Oh my gosh, stop. Okay. This obviously isn't going to be super precise, but we're going to do it anyway. Well, what the heck are those for? Oh, you can put these on, I think, to crimp the ends of these guys so they don't fray. I think. Okay. So we got the screws, the D-rings, the little crimps, and the wire. Do that later and get a couple of these out. There's a little bit of a flatter side on the bottom here than the top. Might be kind of hard to see on camera. But I'm going to put the flatter side against the painting. And then put it about there, I think. Yeah. Because this tip doesn't fit in there very well, I need to be careful that it doesn't strip it because that would be kind of unfortunate. I want to be far enough from the side so that the staple isn't in the way, but also make sure it is at the 4-inch mark. Okay, well, I think it seems to be working. Really nice if I had my actual screwdriver because this kind of hurts my hand for being real. And since this just spins, it just isn't helpful. Wonder where that screwdriver is, man. My hands are sweaty. Oh, man. I don't know if I can get this guy in with just this little screwdriver. Because it's not moving any further than this. Alright, well, I'll start the next one. And hopefully I can get it a little bit more flush than that. Because I don't want it scratching the wall either, you know? So that's not super helpful. Should probably do this on a flat surface, huh? And not suspended in the air. And leaning on the edge of the desk. I feel like the other one started a lot easier than this one did. I think I need to go on another search for the screwdriver because this is not working. Great news. I found it. And this is so much easier. Oh my gosh. Wow. Amazing. It's amazing what a little bit of leverage and grip you can get on it does. Okay. Kind of sounds like it's splitting a little. We're gonna call that one good. Oh yeah. Oh wait, that needs to face that way. That would have been annoying. Huh. Okay, cool. I actually have no idea if that was recording that, but I found the screwdriver and yeah. Okay, so I need to clip all of this off and I'll probably do it pretty tight. I don't want a ton of slack in there. I think some people prefer that, but I don't know, I'd rather have it tighter so there's not so much wiggling, I guess. I don't know. I also don't like it when they hang off the wall super far. And so that's also why I put the little guys a little bit further up there. These look like they need to be put on the wire before it is tied around the rings. So I think I'll do that, but I'll measure this first. I'll give it a little extra as well. There's no need to be skimpy about it. But let's do about this much, I'd say. Nice. That was smooth. So I think in order to, well, let's put a couple of these on. Well, I suppose I could put it on the other side too. Well, I'll do this first and see how this goes. Any of that on film. But let's do this side. Let's put these on first. Little guys. Goes through this way. I think. And then you can start twisting it. This piece slides on that. And I'm just going to take the pliers and crimp it. Try to. This one stays on a bit better, but cool. This should totally work. So let's pick out 2 more of everything. And then screws. This is actually really annoying. So this one I made for my mom, actually. And I really wish that I could keep it. I love this thing so much. It is beautiful. It is of Lamar Valley in Yellowstone National Park, and it's a beautiful place to be, and there's tons of wildlife there. The photo that I based it off of is from a trip that I took with my friend Ashlyn, and I love it so much. And it was such a great trip. We saw, I think it was 13 bears total, which is kind of wild. We saw grizzly cubs with their mom, and it was truly just incredible, and I loved it so much. I've also taken a trip with my parents to Yellowstone a few times, so I know that she would appreciate this very much, and it is Mother's Day after all, so I thought it would be a more personal touch to make her something as opposed to um, just buying something. I also just think that personalized gifts are significantly better, and I love them more than other ones. I'm not sure if I want to put these hooks on here or not. Maybe I'll put it this way. Um, Thing is, I'm kind of worried that this wood might split, and if it did, then it would go through the front um, and crack that. So maybe actually I won't. Maybe I'll bring the kit with me when I go see my parents and my family and give them the option, because I would much rather not, and then they could use command strips or something else, or they could just prop it up against something as opposed to potentially cracking it. Because I don't have a drill, I can't do a little pilot hole in it, and so there's no way to help prevent splitting in with the tools that I currently have. Um, Actually, yeah, let's just not go ahead and do that. I will make a little bag for these and give that to my mom. Because that would be actually pretty sad if I split that. especially because it's entirely wood and there's no, like, if it cracks through the front, oh my gosh, I would be pretty devastated, pretty upset by that. So let's actually, let's just do this one that I made for my grandpa. I also need to go ahead and seal both of these paintings. So I'll probably do that in this video too, since I'm here. I do also really wish that I could keep this painting. It is of Bowman Lake in Glacier National Park. And I first visited that place on a solo trip when I first moved to Montana. And I kind of wanted to find seclusion where no one else was. And usually, national parks are very busy. And so it's hard to find that. And while I was there, there was two loons that were just calling away, and it was incredible. And the water was like glass, and it was very, very pretty. And it was a very memorable moment for me that I will cherish. Um, Looks like the wood on this frame is already kind of cracking, so that makes me nervous. Oh no. It was such a cool experience being there. And I know my grandpa also loves the lake and water. And he's been able to visit Glacier National Park with my grandma. At one point, I know that they have an album of it. And so I know that he will find this really special. And he requested a painting from me. And who am I to deny my grandpa a painting? You know, I think it's really special that he wants one from me, and it makes me feel super loved and appreciated. And I'm really excited. I wish that I could be there when he receives it. Unfortunately, I won't be, since I don't have the time to make it down to where he lives and see the rest of my family. So, my dad and my mom will be giving this present to him, and I can't wait to hear back from them. And it's just so exciting to know that this painting is going to be hanging up in my room. And if anybody asks about it, he can tell them that his granddaughter made it. And I think that's really cool. I really, I really like it. And like I said earlier, personalized gifts are incredible. He was a woodworker for many, many years, and I have a lot of his decorative clocks and magazine stands and um, just so many cool ornaments. He is very talented, and it is always special to have something from him. And um, I love displaying his work in my house, and getting to see that every day and be reminded of him is so special to me. So I hope that he feels the same way about having this painting in his place. Um, and I'm sure he will. But oh, it's cracking a little. The next one, my oldest brother has taken up some of his woodworking and has gotten his patterns and some of his machinery that he used. He no longer, my grandpa no longer is able to really make much anymore. Still a few things, which is good. But it's exciting that my brother is wanting to and is able to create such things. I think it's incredible the people like carpenters and any sort of craftsman, um, is so impressive to me. And I'm sure people think that with any art, any other forms of art, and like painting or anything like that. But it's exciting that think that kind of work is being passed down and is staying in our family. And it's really cool. Um, and I'd love to hear anything that's been passed down like that within your family. I know that there's tons of different things, and um, yeah, I think it's just incredible. I did also hide um, my grandma's initials within the water of this painting, and that is really special too, since we lost her this past year, and I know that will mean a lot to him too. So that's really exciting that I can do that, and it's something that like you wouldn't know unless you know, and yeah, and I think that's kind of the cool thing about being able to create art is to do those special things, and you wouldn't really notice it unless you point it out, and you can kind of see the initials in it, and you might not know what it means, but yeah. Um, so I think that's a special thing that I was able to do too. Okay, so I need to add a couple of these. And then add this guy here. What did I do? I don't know. One way or the other. I don't think it really matters. We'll see what they think of my knot tying skills. My dad and my family grew up fishing, so they do a ton of knots with that. Okay. I wish I would have done that a little bit tighter because that kind of hangs kind of high. I think it'll be okay. They can always shorten it, I'm sure. Okay, so let's add these. Cool. We have it professionally done. This is the varnish that I use. It is a satin finish. I don't know. I It's fine. Nothing spectacular. I think it um, works. Although it says artist oil colors. I don't know. It's the one that I use, and it seems to be working. And I hope it's not destroying my stuff. Um, I've also been using just like a throwaway brush that I don't really care about. I don't know if a like spongy craft one would be a better option or not. I don't know. I always start with um, putting a paper bag underneath these, and I want them to be flat so that it doesn't like drip or anything, and then it just dries more evenly. But I don't want to wreck my table, so I put this underneath it. I always just kind of pour this into the cap, which also probably isn't a great idea, but that's what I do because I don't really have a dish for it, and I really should probably get one, but that's okay. But let's varnish this painting. I usually do 1 to 2 coats of it, so we'll see what I end up doing. Probably do 2 just because I want to make sure everything is covered, and usually it's a little bit more even if I do 2. You want to do even strokes. I mean, this is also not a tutorial, but you want to do it all in one direction so that it's not all wonky and it's a little bit more of an even finish to it. Cool. Well, I think that one's all covered. Super easy. Pour a little more. Well, and it's nice to have kind of like a light source that you can make sure that everything is covered since this is clear. Sometimes it's a little tricky to tell if a place has been covered. And the problem with this cheap brush is that the bristles like to come off and get stuck in there. Which is obviously not ideal because you don't want just a random bristle in there. But really, I just want this to be protected from the sun and other elements and all that fun stuff. Because I don't want it to fade. I worked hard on it, you know? I should probably be wearing gloves because I feel like this probably isn't good for you to get on your hands. Oh well. Well, that was it for me. Um, Hopefully, you enjoyed watching me learn how to properly get a painting ready to be hung and displayed, and not just the hope for the best kind of way. I think it turned out actually really well, and I will see how that wooden one goes, um, and if they want to have that put on or not. I would rather just not test that on a piece that I'm giving somebody. I'd rather just test it on something that I'm keeping. But I'm really excited that I can actually do this and gift people personalized gifts. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Like it if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.